Hosted by Matt Riches. $1 trillion tickets. Watch the market unfold. $1 trillion tickets. Turning data to gold. $1 trillion tickets. Watch the market unfold. $1 trillion tickets. Turning data to gold. $1 trillion tickets. Watch the market unfold. $1 trillion tickets. Turning data to gold. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickets broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. This is the market check-in. It is Wednesday. The market is closed. So you know what happens? I'm going to give you some details. Let's get into it, y'all. Nvidia had a good day, up 3.6%. AVGO had a great day, up 4.8%. Technology was green on the day, and only one other sector was green on the day. Can you guess what sector that was? Well, it has to do with the Iran-U.S. war going on around the Strait of Hormuz. Yes, XLE, energy was up today. All the other sectors were red and down for the day. I track the headlines, the data, and the market levels so you don't have to. This show is for education and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Before we get into the charts, let's get into the mantra for our mindset. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable. I am skilled. I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, let's check out some of this data. The fear and greed index is at 42. So we're getting closer to neutral, but we still are in fear. All right, next. The worst two sectors for today was materials down 2.6% and financials down 1.9%. We'll check out the heat map later. The 10-year Treasury Yield note did hit a high of day at 4.6%, but it closed at 4.5%. That could be another reason why a lot of the sectors sold off today. Gold is around $4,087 an ounce. Bitcoin is around $62,000. Ethereum is around $1,700. Brent crude surged more than 5%, briefly crossing $80 a barrel before settling around $78 a barrel. ExxonMobil and Chevron were both up, respectively 3.9% and Chevron 5.3%. Rivian dropped a lot today after they announced a $75 million share offering. Intel also had a terrible session, down about 5%. Today was not a broad rally. It was selective. Energy won because oil spiked. Technology stayed green because Nvidia and AVGO carried the weight. We'll talk about the AVGO partnership when we get to the news. Fear is still present. Yields are still high. Geopolitical risk is still active. And most of the $1 trillion tickers closed red today, except for chips. All right, next, let's get into Robert Greene's daily law for today. Title, The Anti-Seducer, Daily Law. Rid yourself of anti-seductive tendencies by getting outside of yourself, your insecurities, and into the spirit of the other person. Today's law is about insecurity and self-awareness. Robert Greene explains that anti-seducers repel people because they're too trapped inside themselves. They're too reactive, too needy, too insecure, too judgmental. And because of that, they cannot read the room. For long-term investors, this connects to emotional control. The market will always test you. Oil headlines, Fed pressure, rising yields, geopolitical shocks, sector rotation. If every headline pulls you into panic, you lose your process. Long-term investors need to step outside of the emotion of the day and focus on structure, quality, and discipline. For day traders, this law is direct. Insecurity creates bad trades. It creates revenge trading. It creates chasing. It creates moving stops. It creates forcing setups that are not there. Today was a perfect example of why discipline matters. Some names were strong, some names were weak, some sectors worked, most sectors did not. The trader's job is not to force a story. The trader's job is to read exactly what is happening. Stay patient, stay disciplined, execution over emotion, process over prediction. Now let's get on these charts and see what happened, y'all. So I'm going to just leave this on a 15-minute time frame. So every chart is 15 minutes. All right. Every candle is 15 minutes. So as you can see, Nvidia, nice uptrend on the day. End up closing at 204.12, up 3.6% on the day. Next, we have Apple. Nice uptrend as well. After this big drop on the first candle of the day, it recovered very nicely off of that. Apple closed the day at 313.39, up 0.8%. Next, we have Google. Google is down today, as you can see. It was down for most of the day until 11:30 before buyers decided to step in. Google ended up closing the day at $361.92, down 1.3%. Next, we have Microsoft. As you can see, it ran up on the first candle, dropped, consolidated, ran up, and pulled back again. Microsoft closed the day at $383.34, down 1.4%. I did make a trade on Microsoft, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Next, we have Amazon. As you can see, it ran up on the first candle and then pulled back by 8:30. It was the bottom of the day, and then it bounced, sold off, and ran up again. Amazon closed the day at $243.62, down 0.9% on the day. Next, we had TSM. So TSM did start the day in our Smart Money Concepts support zone. And it did what support is supposed to do, not allow price to break through. So the opening candle, the opening price was $429, and price did not go back to that price the whole day. It did run up, pull back, and run up again, and then consolidate for the rest of the day. So the zone is still strong. TSM closed the day at $436.98, up 1% on the day. Next, we have AVGO. AVGO had a nice uptrend. Actually, AVGO did the best of all the $1 trillion tickers today. As you can see, this nice move to the upside. Higher high, lower high, higher high, consolidation. That's a nice move, though. From opening down here at 377, getting all the way to 395 by 9:45. AVGO closed the day at $388.69, up 4.8% on the day. Next, we have Tesla. As you can see, Tesla sold off from the beginning of the day. Sold off, bounced, sold off, and bounced again. Tesla closed the day at $394.06, down 2.1% on the day. Next, we have Meta Platforms. As you can see, this major downward candle. Normally, I would say red candle, but it's clearly blue. But you see this candle drop 1.9% just on this first 15-minute candle alone. And then it found a little support right here, ended up buying up, and it's selling off again and before buying up at the end of the day. So Meta ended up closing at 603.12, down 2% on the day. Next, we have MU. So MU, very good candle here to start the day, up 4.8%. It did get into the gap before selling off. And then they ended up coming down here back to the pre-market high to find more support. So this pre-market high, which was resistance, did turn into support. Price bounced off that and made its way back toward the upside. MU ended up closing at 948.80, up 1.1% on the day. Next we have SpaceX. As you can see, sold off, bought up, and sold off heavy. But it got lucky in this last 15-minute candle today. It bought up 2%. So I'm sure nobody's seen that coming. So if you did not take profits on these shorts for SpaceX before the last candle of the day, then you definitely got clapped. But SpaceX ended up closing at 148.30, down 0.7% on the day. Next, we had Eli Lilly. Nice move up until 7:45, and then it sold off, bought up, and sold off, bought up, and sold off again. Ended up closing at $1,215.83, down 1.6% on the day. Next, we have Berkshire B. Just sold off, bought up, sold off for the rest of the day. Ended up closing at $494.79, down 1.8% on the day. Next, let's check out SPY. I did make a trade on SPY today as well. So SPY first, it opened up right here, 743, bought up and then sold off heavy, and then ended up bouncing here at 830 and running all the way, breaking the previous high a day, and then consolidating up here. So SPY ended up closing at 745.40, down 0.3% on the day. Next, we got QQQ. Same pattern. Bought up, sold off, bounced down here at 830, and then consolidated up here. QQQ ended up green on the day, closing at 711.44, up 0.2% on the day. Next, we got IWM. I did make a trade on IWM today. As you can see, it bought up here on the first candle, strong on the second candle, and just sold off after that. And then it ended up finding the bottom here at 845 before recovering pretty nicely. And closing at 293.48, down 0.9% on the day. The VIX ended up closing at 16.89. 10-year Treasury Yield note, it did hit 4.6 today and then sold off a little bit. So it's now at 4.57%. Gold is at $4,075 an ounce. Bitcoin is at $62,196. Ethereum is at $1,739. Palantir at $132. Robinhood at $113. All the memory stocks were green today, so that's good. Let's check out the sectors. So we only had two green sectors today, and that is XLK, which was up 1.2%, and energy that was up 1.7%. Energy takes the crown today for the best sector of the day. And then we had a bunch of red sectors, I'm going to say, not in any particular order. XLY down 1.7%, XLC down 1.4%, XLF down 1.9%, XLV down 1.3%, XLP down 0.5%, XLU down 0.7%, XLI down 0.1%. XLI down 1%. XLB, the laggard of the day, down 2.6%, and XLRE down 1.6%. All right, now we can check out my trades for today. First trade was actually a loss. This was my first loss of the week on a trade. And man, oh man, was it a big loss? Yes, it was my biggest loss since I started day trading again. Why? Because let me turn on my EMAs and my VWAP. So here, as you can see, my 9 EMA crossed the VWAP right here. So this was my entry. This is a momentum play. So I expected price to continue with this momentum. The way this candle was way down here, I expected that from this candle. But what happened? It got down here a little bit, bought back up, and once price closed above the VWAP, I was like, I've had enough. Sold it. Big loss. And what happened? 2 candles later, it was down here where I was supposed to be taking profits. But I did follow my rules. I entered based on the cross, and I exited based on the closure above the VWAP. So I actually did follow my rules, and it was still a loss. So that's part of trading. No strategies 100%. So yeah, big loss on Microsoft today. Over a $300 loss. I was trading 4 contracts. And let me see, what was my next trade? Oh, IWM, okay. IWM was my next trade. This trade was good though. So I got into some puts here on IWM. See, we had our cross here. Oh yeah, so I actually ended up getting in this trade too early. So I was under pressure. I was under a lot of pressure. At one point I was down a lot because I ended up trading 10 contracts. So this was my first day trade with 10 contracts, and I held strong. I still believed in my strategy, so I ended up getting in right here, which was too early. I was so excited to trade 10 contracts that I got in too early. So I felt all this pressure. I got in right here. I felt all this pressure, but I ain't fold. I stayed in, and then I ended up selling down here, and I made like $180. So I'm like, okay, good trade. You got almost half of your money back. Well, you got about half of the money back from the Microsoft loss. I was like, all right, let me do one more trade. It was my last trade. It was SPY. Okay. So then I did a SPY trade. I was like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to trade 10 contracts again. We on, man. We 10 contract gang on this day trade now. We 10 contract gang on a day trades. So this is my based on my strategy here. We had the cross, and then I got in right here, and then end up selling right here. Next candle. You know, these trades, they don't be long. If they work out how you want them to work out, we just in these trades for a few minutes. So I got in with 10 contracts, got my nice move. It was what, like a 50-cent move basically, and sold that thing, made like $220. So I made all my money back from my loss on Microsoft, and still ended up in the green, like $40 on the day. So I'll take that. I was under a lot of pressure after that big Microsoft loss, but my 2 trades, I was able to make up for that and end the day in the green. So shout out to me. Shout out to 10 contract day trade gang. All right, so those are all my trades for today, y'all. That was actually my first loss of the week. I was on. I had a nice streak going. But yeah. Okay, so let's get into some news, y'all. Wow, look at this. Before we get to the news, look at this heat map right here. Look at all this red. Woo! The only green was over here in tech and producer manufacturing and energy. Yeah, there's a bunch of red everywhere else, y'all. Oh, let's check out the market caps too first. Nvidia still number one. They up by 300 billion now, so it's not even close for Apple. Nvidia had a good day today. All right, let's get into some news. This was Ashton Hall. He dropping some game right quick. It's less than 1 minute. Check it out.
I realized that I was spending a lot of countless hours at night, like scrolling, just like anything between like 9 p.m. and 12 a.m. wasn't productive. So I said, I'm going to just cut these hours out, right? I'm going to wake up early. I think I started waking up at like 5 or 4 or something. And then I realized like how much more time I had. Nobody's calling my phone at that time. And then I just went from 4 or 5, whatever it was, to 350 because I wanted to like feel crazy. Yeah. Right? Like I feel like when you know that you're doing something that the rest of the world isn't, you could just have more confidence. So I did that, and it completely changed my business. Like my business was just like killing it, just like going, because I had like 3-4 hours to just plan my entire day. Yeah. And all the videos were in sync. All of my business decisions were getting better. I had like time to read 20 pages without, answering or have to getting back to a text or something.
Good game, y'all. Good game. Get up early. That way you're not going to be distracted. Getting a lot done, waking up early. Shout out to bro. All right, next. I thought this was interesting. It says, this is how the largest stocks in the world. Oh, actually, give me 1 second. Y'all can't see this on YouTube. So I need to make an adjustment right quick. There we go. Now y'all can see it. Oops. All right, there we go. So it says, this is how the largest stocks in the world have performed over the last decade. Nvidia up 16,000%. Apple up 1,100%. Google up 900%. Microsoft 600%. Amazon 500%. Taiwan Semiconductor 1,500%. AVGO 2,200%. Meta Platforms 400%. Tesla 2,600%. Eli Lilly 1,400%. Micron 7,700%. Buy and hold for the long term, y'all. This is a 10-year hold. Next, SK Hynix is going public on the NASDAQ this Friday. Y'all buying SK Hynix, y'all? We'll see. Oh, yeah, don't buy the IPO for 6 months. I don't remember seeing that on Robinhood, that we can invest in SK Hynix. I have to look for it. See if we can flip that like we flipped that at SpaceX. Quick 20% in 1 day. Wasn't being greedy. Could have made way more, but it is what it is. Next, the South Korean won just began its first day of 24-hour trading. So if you live in South Korea, you can trade 24 hours a day. I don't know how much liquidity you're going to have, but they definitely allowing people to make money anytime, anywhere, any time of day or night. I thought this was interesting. So it says, high school grads find an alternative route to their dream colleges, moving to town, enrolling in online programs, and being part of campus social life, all outside of paying regular admission costs. That is a great idea. All you got to do is move to the town and take some online classes, and then you can still go to campus and kick it, party, you know what I mean, mingle, and yeah, not have to pay them ridiculous tuition fees. So I thought that was pretty dope. Next, MU has started construction this weekend on a $9.3 billion expansion to its factory in Hiroshima, Japan. Next, a analyst from the Barclays said Southwest should just do as well, if not better, than all other domestic airlines. Shout out to all my people at Southwest. Next, Microsoft is looking to reduce AI costs. It's starting to replace OpenAI and Anthropic with its own models in software products like Excel and Outlook. Oh, that's interesting right there. All right, next, Morgan Stanley has warned that AI investors are likely to begin rotating out of semi-stocks and into AI hyperscalers. The firm picked Amazon, Microsoft, and Meta as the most attractive within the current AI ecosystem. Yes, Microsoft and Meta are on super discount, especially Meta. I thought this was interesting as well. This from 19 Keys. Shout out Keys. He said, did you know 7 years ago, High Level Conversations was the first podcast to talk about OpenAI? Shout out to Keys for being a futurist. Predicted it. Next. This is interesting. AI startup CEO pleaded guilty in the United States to trading on insider tips from lawyers. His name is Araya. His last name is crazy. Bowler Frushan, CEO of Abu Dhabi-based AI startup Applied AI, pleaded guilty to conspiring to commit securities fraud by trading on insider merger tips from lawyers. He made almost $1 million in profits from those trades on that information, including a 2023 Orchard Therapeutics acquisition and the mid-2024 $5.1 billion Instar buyout, sharing roughly 60,000 with tipsters. Prosecutors recommended 2 years in prison, and he has to pay back his almost $1 million that he made from that illegally used information. But Trump and them ain't going to jail, though. Shit. All right, next. Anthropic has overtaken OpenAI in paid business adoption of AI. So look at this moving chart. It's only about 20 seconds. There you go. Oh, Anthropic just passed OpenAI this year in May. So shout out Anthropic, man. Can't wait for the IPO. Next. Meta announced they have Muse Image, their first image generation model from Meta Superintelligence Labs. So another way to make pictures with AI. Wow, Zuckerberg, that's some innovation you got there, buddy. Next, Bank of America says, investors, it may be time to take profits. Oh, this just dropped. This fresh off the presses. This is from Earn Your Leisure. It says China's real estate market crashes, wiping out nearly 20 years of housing price gains. Damn, are you serious? 20 years of gains? Ooh. Some people be saying, man, real estate is safer than stocks. Yeah. Not all the time. Not most of the time, actually. So Michael Burry and somebody from the Trump administration was going back and forth. Michael Burry said Donald Trump could not make, he said Donald Trump could not in a million years understand or make his way through any of my Substack essays. He can shoot from the hip but he can shoot from the hip and make money for him and his cronies better than anyone. Michael Burry said he can shoot from the hip and make money for him and his cronies better than anyone. Interesting. So, White House spokesperson Kush Desi said Michael Burry has predicted 50 of the last 3 market crashes, so he should focus on renewing his credibility before attacking anyone. They going back and forth, y'all. Can you believe this? All right, next. AMD has just confirmed it will be reporting earnings after the market closes on Tuesday, August 4th. Shout out AMD, y'all. Hitting them all-time highs recently. AMD over 500, y'all. Shout out Lisa Su. Next up, SpaceX stock closes below its debut of $148 in a 2-day slide after being included in the NASDAQ 100. So people is not tripping on SpaceX no more. They like, oh well, glad I sold mine on day one. Next, Amazon Web Services just announced plans to invest $5 billion in the Philippines over the next 15 years. Shout out to the Philippines, y'all. Shout out to my Filipino peoples. Next up, Meta Platforms is building its first data center in Canada. Estimated to cost $9 billion, and it's going to take about 2 to 3 years to construct. Meta now sits at a total of 33 data centers announced year to date, y'all. It's a lot of data centers, y'all. That's only Meta, too. Oh, we got some more Trump quotes, y'all. Here we go. Here goes Trump. I predicted everything. I've been right about everything. And I have been for a long time. And that's how I got to be president 3 times. That's how I won 3 elections. I did very well in the second one. Won it. It was a rigged election. Bro, how you win 3 times, bro? He'll say anything. Next, King Griffin of Citadel bought all 138 condos in a Miami tower. Why did he do that? Well, let me tell you why. First, let me tell you how much it cost. $125 million. And he purchased it through several anonymous LLCs over 3 years. The purchase clears the final major obstacle for Citadel's planned headquarters campus expansion. So he's going to tear down. He bought all those units, 138 units in the condo building, just so he could tear it down so they could build Citadel headquarters. It was in the way. And Citadel headquarters is going to be a 54-story office tower because the firm moved there from Chicago in 2022. Nah, I feel you though. That would be dope to be working in finance in a tower in Miami though. That would be super dope. Demolition is set to start this summer. But yeah, when you balling, yeah, you can do that. I'm gonna drop 125 million on this thing. Next, this is from Ian Dunlap. He said, Nightcap is one of the top shows on YouTube and is done virtually. Market Mondays is a global phenomenon and is done virtually. Don't let people tell you that you have to be in person in order for a show to work. Okay. Yeah, do that thing on Zoom and it can still go global. We have proof of that. Next, this is from Investing Bay. She said, your ability to stay calm during uncertainty is a life skill, not just a trading skill. 100%. And I definitely had to stay calm when I was under pressure. It's my first time trading 10 contracts, and I was down heavy. But I'm like, nah, you see, this strategy works. Don't sell it. I didn't sell it. Ended up green a few minutes later. Shout out to myself for that hold. Next, even though SpaceX has been selling off crazy, it does have some very high price targets. Raymond James 800, which is ridiculous. But Morgan Stanley 300, Deutsche Bank 255, Oppenheimer 250, Bernstein 239, Bank of America 235, Wells Fargo 230. You know what I mean? All these are over 200. Goldman Sachs 205, y'all. So I wonder if those targets were given out when it was running up, and now that it's ran down, if they plan on changing that. I guess we'll see after earnings. Next, one more quote from Investing Bay. She said, choosing to think positive every chance you get is a life hack. Shout out Investing Bay for that, y'all. Next, why did AVGO and Apple go up today? Maybe it was from this post from Tim Cook. He said, we're proud to expand our work with Broadcom, which is AVGO, with a new agreement to produce billions more chips in the U.S. It's our largest ever American manufacturing program commitment and an important step in our work to build an end-to-end silicon supply chain in the United States. Next, Google, who owns Waymo, just said it's offering fully self-driving rides in 4 more cities: Denver, Vegas, San Diego, and Tampa, Florida. Shout out Google, man. Do we have a new NBA team on the horizon? A new group is pursuing an NBA team in Las Vegas. They're going to be called the Las Vegas Jacks, led by Hall of Famer Jerry Colangelo and former NBA coach Vinny Del Negro, coach and player. I remember he used to play for the Spurs. They claim $8 billion in total capital and promise to build the most impressive state-of-the-art basketball arena in the world. Man, can I be an investor in that? Let me just put a couple racks in that thing, man. Shout out to Ice Cube, man. Because Ice Cube is going to allow the fans to invest in the big three. You see all these NBA league, the NBA, the NFL, they not letting the fans invest with them. They just being hella greedy, making these billions. I'm talking about the owners, y'all. The owners are so greedy. The NFL is a non-profit organization, but the owners are billionaires. They charging these high prices for all that everything, and we can't be owners. Why not give these super fanatics a chance to own a piece of the company? Even if they just break off like 10% for the people, then I can see why people will be super fanatics for these teams. Because people be super fanatics and not owning no part of the business. People be getting beat up at these football games over a team that you don't own no type of equity in. It's just ridiculous. Next up, CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink. I got a quick clip from him, y'all. But shout out Ice Cube, man, for giving the people an opportunity to be owners and to get rich. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to sabotage, the big three stock. I'm sure they're going to come out with the short version of the big three. I'm sure they're going to do that quickly because they don't want to see Ice Cube win. But shout out Ice Cube, man. A man of the people. Anyway, back to BlackRock CEO. This quick clip.
And in almost every period of time in our lifetime, if you bought the dips, every time you would have benefited. I mean, think about it. My letter talks about if you invested on January 1st, 2000, and a year later we had a 40% drawdown. We had the dot-com boom. We had the great financial crisis. We had COVID. We had many other things, but you made over 8 times your money. I believe we are just the beginning of growing the global capital markets, and I do believe you're going to see the breadth and depth of the global capital markets growing, and BlackRock will be a part of that.
Buy the dip. Buy the dip. The market is green over 70% of the time. So that's between 7 and 8 out of every 10 years, the market is green. So if you have the emotional control to buy the dip on those 2 to 3 red years, usually 2 out of every decade, you will be handsomely rewarded if you invest in the S&P 500. And you can buy a share of SPYM for how much? Let's look it up right quick. SPYM. Let's go on a daily chart. SPYM closed at $87 a share. So you could invest in S&P 500 for $87 a share if you invest in SPYM. And I was listening to Market Mondays, and they were talking about the Robinhood accounts. They were talking about the Trump accounts that are ran by Robinhood. By the way, the Trump accounts are live. TrumpAccounts.gov. If you have an infant that was born, I think it was 2025, you could get $1,000 for the Trump account. If you know anybody with an infant or about to have an infant, tell them TrumpAccounts.gov. Go get that $1,000, and you can also invest in that account yourself for your child. But they talked about back to Market Mondays. They talked about the Trump accounts, right? What ETFs you could invest in? SPYM, SPTM, and Ian was saying that's basically 2 of the tickers from 2 Tech 2 Index. And I remember when I found SPYM years ago, and I found SPTM years ago, they're going to be putting that into the Trump accounts. So yes, I did my research. Shout out to me. Shout out to Ian. Shout out to the Trump account. Shout out Robinhood. You know how we like to end the show with some Instagram motivation?
Chase excellence, never chase money. Why? Because money has an incredible way of finding excellence. Did you chase excellence and not money? Do you have the intellectual curiosity to learn everything you can about this incredible industry and master it? Become the smartest person in the room. Have you mastered it?
Damn, bro. What you gonna do with all that money? Make more money.
Okay, and with that money?
Make more money.
And with that money?
Make more money.
Damn.
Said, go get that bag. Go get that bag. Get that bag. Get that bag. Get that bag. Go get that bag. Get that bag. Go get that bag.
It don't happen overnight, and there's gonna be moments when it's really, really frustrating, and there's gonna be moments when it's really, really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're gonna take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work, appreciating it, when it's good and not stressing too bad when it's bad, just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day.
And that's what we do here at the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. The next show will be the pre-market briefing in the morning, where I give you 3 support levels and 3 resistance levels at least for all of our $1 Trillion tickers, plus SPY, QQQ, IWM, SPX, the NAS 100, and the Dow Jones for my futures traders. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live.
Hosted by Matt Riches.
Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. $1 trillion. Watch the market